I'm ready to live my life now. And I made like a choice in my head to be like, I'm not letting any of this like shackle me anymore.
Welcome back to another episode of Girls Gotta Eat.
Welcome back.
Happy Thanksgiving week, my favorite holiday of the year.
Oh my God. Remember I had to reel you in? Early on, Rayna would want to talk about Thanksgiving for 3 weeks. She'd want to talk about leading up to it and then post. And then it would be like mid-December and she'd be like, well, maybe we should just recap Thanksgiving again. It would start right after Halloween. You'd be like, is it time we should start talking about Thanksgiving? I'd be like, Rayna, it's a dinner. No, it's more than that, but it is like, remember that?
Do I remember? Yeah, it's hard for me to not do it every single year. I love Thanksgiving so much. It's food related. All I care about is food.
That's true.
And like Christmas doesn't mean anything to me. Like it's a wonderful tradition every year. I love being with your family, but I don't care about it. Like no offense, but Jesus' birthday means nothing to me. But turkey and side dishes means a lot to me.
Yeah.
So
Jesus' birthday, allegedly.
Don't care. I care if you guys care, but
I'm just kidding.
Listen,
No,
every year I make a
Christmas.
request. I'd like to levy this. Please tag me in your Thanksgiving plates.
That's right.
I repost like hundreds of them. I swear I lose thousands of followers every year.
You really overpost. I love to see it.
I love it. Everybody tags me in their beige carb photos. I love seeing all of your Thanksgiving spreads. It makes me feel like I'm a part of it with you guys. So please tag me in everything like really small and I'll repost probably all of them.
I used to say you can confess to me any of your family drama.
Oh yeah.
So if something crazy happens, you can DM me. I will try to get to it. But I love to hear other people's gossip.
I know.
Like I always said, like if you need to vent, just go into your childhood bedroom and like let me know what's going on.
Okay, so you're going to DM Ashley your family gossip. And tag me in all of your Instagram stories of all of your Thanksgiving plates. I just like to feel like I'm there with you.
Or like if you like hook up with somebody on Wednesday before Thanksgiving, like your
cousin.
hometown crush. Oh my God. Or, somebody that maybe used to teach with your mom and then you wake up and you're in your ex-vice principal's house like I did. You know the story.
What?
You know the story, Rayna. I've talked about it.
No, I don't.
Yeah, Rayna, I've told it on the podcast. I hooked up with that guy that used to teach with my mom, and he was my old vice principal's son from like my middle school vice principal. And I woke up and I went home with him so drunk, and we went back to his parents. He was a lot older than me. Yes, he was like 10 years older than me. He was also home for the holidays. And I woke up, and why did I hear my old vice principal's voice? Because he had a very distinctive voice. He sounded like Bullwinkle. And I hear him, and I'm like, where are we? And he was like, I told you we're at my parents' house. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. So I had to go downstairs on Thanksgiving morning.
Wait, but did you know, you knew he was the son of the vice principal?
Yeah, like loosely.
And did you know you were in like a parent's home?
I guess I knew that earlier when I was blacked out drunk, but no, I woke up and didn't remember. And so I had to go downstairs and like greet my old vice principal. And then he was like, hi, Ashley, good to see you. I'm like, oh my God, this guy hasn't seen me since I was 12.
You were like, what would you grade this?
And then he had to drive me home. And then I had to tell my mom, like, Ashley, I hooked up with your old coworker.
You actually didn't have to tell your mom that.
No, sorry, I didn't have to tell her. But she was like, who dropped you off? And I just like... The way that I would be the most hungover on Thanksgiving Day. Because that night was just
you were
the
getting
hardest
it in.
we went. Had a new outfit. We would go out so hard in Dover, Delaware, tear it up.
One year, the guy that I lost my virginity to, he was coming back into town. I was in town. His mom was picking him up at the airport on Wednesday night. And I had her pick him up at the airport and drive to my house and pick me up and drive both of us back to his house. She picked me up for a booty call.
No.
His mom. Yeah.
That's iconic. Anyway, guys, share these stories with us. Stories@girlsgottaeat.com.
Yes, and we want to thank some of our partners before we jump into it. Thanks to Article for supporting Girls Gotta Eat. Article combines the curation of a boutique furniture store with the ease of shopping online. Article is offering you $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. Go to article.com/GGE. And we'd like to thank Skims for supporting our show. Skims is creating the next generation of underwear, loungewear, and shapewear available in cheerful colors and festive prints at skims.com. Plus, get free shipping on orders over $75. All skims.com.
Yes. And thanks to Storyworth for supporting our podcast. They're back for the holidays. Storyworth is a meaningful gift you and your family can treasure forever, and you can get started right away. Go to storyworth.com/GGE to get $10 off your first purchase.
Speaking of gifts for the holidays.
Yeah.
All of our Vibes Only products are out now. We are doing a Black Friday sale, so follow us on social and sign up for our newsletter. We may release the Black Friday sale early. We don't know.
Yeah, what are you guys doing? You're just sitting around hungover from fucking your hometown crush the night before.
Maybe your vice principal's son.
That's how you can like cure those like turkey blues when you're just like all lethargic and you're like, buy yourself a new vibrator.
Orgasms.
Like Rayna said, yes, you can sign up for the newsletter, which we love our newsletter. It's so fun. And there's like new fun stuff every week. And this is where you will hear about sales first and things like that. And that's going to be at vibesonly.com. There'll be a pop-up and you guys get it. You know how to sign up for newsletters. And we're not going to spam you. You know, we take it very seriously. And then of course, follow along on social at Vibes Only as well.
Yes. So we really have a lot of vibrators for special occasions.
Okay.
Every occasion. So we have
Special
we have
occasion
couples
vibrators?
toys, we have solo toys, we have air pulse suction vibes, which are great, especially if you have trouble orgasming. They're going to suck on all those nerve endings in your clit. We have a wand, which is the Ashley wand, great gold detail. All the toys have the softest silicone. Am I saying it right? Silicone.
What? How can we?
I own a sex toy
Are
company.
there any teachers who can help us like teach this to her? Is there a way to remember it? Silicon Valley. Silicone.
Silicone sounds so weird to me. I don't relate to it.
That's the word.
It's the word.
That silicone should sound normal and silicon should sound weird to you.
Okay.
Well, everybody's different.
Yeah.
No judgment.
Okay. Well, we have the softest silicone that you could find in beautiful colors, and the packaging is really second to none. So if you're thinking of giving this to yourself or gifting it to somebody else, it is really high end, beautiful packaging, and they are really collectors. So you could save the box. Inside it, you'll get a velvet pouch with everything, a charger, and it's just supposed to be a really beautiful unboxing experience in general.
Yes, our lube, we just redid our packaging for our lube and our suck and blow gel as well. Our lube is the best that there is. I've used every lube.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I'm just got some dry pussy over here, but I've used a lot of lube over the
Let's see what's out
years.
there.
Like, you know, we've gotten them from different people and things like that. And I'm just kind of like interested in it, what makes it good. And ours is the best, as a very light scent that is like incredible, but it's not like perfumed or anything that's going to be bad for your vagina, of course. And everything is just really good and body safe. So the lube, the juiced up lube is incredible. It's in this squeeze tube, so you can use it one-handed. And then the suck and blow gel, which is to suck a dick or eat a vulva, friendly for both. And that's why we changed the name to the suck and blow gel from blow gel. And we have our new holiday flavors, which is peppermint patty and sugar cookie.
We gifted it to a friend, and she said, I've never enjoyed giving a blowjob so much before.
Well, we gave it to a friend who is in a relationship. Like, we kind of gave it to them as a couple gift to celebrate an accomplishment of hers. And he texted us all on the group chat with her too and was like, this just saved our relationship. Like, kind of in a joking way. They weren't struggling or anything, but we gave it to him during the day. They went home probably like around dinner time and used everything. The suck and blow gel. We gave him the Lucy.
So we used everything in the back.
He was like, she's just laying here smiling in the dark, like the Joker. And he took a picture of her, like with her consent. And she was just so happy
I love
looking.
that photo. I want to use it as
I
our,
know.
like,
I was
whole
like, this is
promo
our
for the
next
company.
ad campaign. Like, it is such a game changer because especially the Lucy has that finger sleeve for guys to, you know, put it on your clit and they basically have like a vibrating finger. It's incredible.
Yes. So we really have, I think, something for everyone. If you like a more rabbit style vibrator, we have that. We have clit suckers. We have butt plugs. We have couple toys. So check that out, vibesonly.com. And then, of course, we're going to be having a great Black Friday sale this week, and you can get stuff for gifts for everybody.
Yes. Okay. So speaking of pussies, huge update today with me.
Okay.
Today, I am starting my laser hair removal journey.
I am so excited for you.
I will say that, of course, I should have done this before. I've just been out here like getting sugared, you know, which no shade.
No,
you know, that's what I've
you
been
are
doing.
just so brave. I don't know how you've been doing this for so many years.
I know. And it's just like, I had my underarms done so long ago. I was like early on days of this when I lived in Atlanta, like so long ago, and I love it. And I just think it was so much more painful at that time with the technology that was like 10 years ago, 10 plus maybe, that I was just like, I cannot imagine that on my vagina. So I just feel like it's taken a while for people to be like, trust me, it doesn't hurt as bad as it used to. It doesn't hurt more than a wax. Like if you're getting it ripped out, you can handle laser. And then it's so much cheaper than it used to be. And actually, it was an email from a listener that shamed us and was like, if I hear about you two getting your pussies waxed one more time.
The two of us, I don't subscribe to the culture.
I know. Sometimes emails like that, like I don't like being like shamed for my life choices. You know what I mean? But she was right. She's like, you need to stop this. This woman owns a laser place in Canada or something. And she was like, I obviously can't do this for you, but I can give you recommendations. And literally it was her email. And I was like, she's right. And I deserve this shaming. I wrote her back. I was like, thank you for shaming me.
I don't know how you've been dealing with it for this many years. I've gotten it done 3 times. I am sweating. I am panicking. I can't take enough blood pressure meds to get through it. I'm crawling up the walls. Like, you're braver than I am. I cannot get a wax. I also don't mind having some hair. Like, that doesn't bother me. My hair is blonde and it's thin. Yeah. So I don't mind it.
You know, I had this thing of like, what if I end up with some guy that has like a bush fantasy fetish? Or he really is like sad that I can never grow a bush for him.
And a merkin?
Rayna, I actually found out what a merkin is from Naked Attraction.
From the internet? No, what is it?
So, you know, I learned everything from Naked Attraction. Merkins are because pubic hair used to be like a sexy thing back in the day. It was like symbolism. It was like what men wanted. So women, if they had genital lice, they'd have to shave their whole pussy to get rid of it. And then they would wear a merkin. So they had like pussy hair. Like, it's crazy. I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious.
The way you say merkin.
What? I'm not.
I love it. It's so funny.
Can you imagine shaving your pussy because you have pubic lice and then you have to wear a fake pussy hair? You still won't watch Naked Attraction. I'm out here getting an education.
I feel like I'm getting waterboarded by the show. This is the second time this episode you brought it up. That was the first because she's going to bring it up later.
She's going to bring it up later. Spoiler alert. Okay.
You already did talk about it later.
I know.
And I feel like I talk about it every week with you and Sparkle Eyes also. And you told me about what he thinks about it. We talked about it on stage. I'm getting waterboarded by the show. I feel like I've seen it.
Okay. Last thing I'll say. I'm not going to tell you guys right now where I'm going because, like, what if it's bad? Right. And then I got to come back on and be like, it was bad. But I'm going to a reputable place, of course. And so I will share, you know, once I go through a couple treatments. But yeah, I had to do a full shave last night. I was so spent.
Wait, you had to do a full shave?
You have to shave when you're doing laser.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, interesting.
Well, you have to be hair free.
Oh, I didn't know.
But you're not supposed to wax. I do think maybe they need to see a little bit of the follicle. And, you know, you can't get sun down there. I mean, I know the drill because I've had my underarms done, which I love. And so, yeah, but back to what I was saying, I just think that, like, you know, I'm with the person I'm going to be with, you know, we'll see. Like, obviously we both see a long-term future together. And I'm just like, I'm done with this.
Is he like a fan of pubic hair? Does he care?
No, that's what I'm saying. I feel like I'm with somebody that, you know, I think he's fine with whatever I choose, but he doesn't have some like bush fetish and he likes, you know, a well-groomed like bare pussy. He's fine with it.
I don't mind having some hair. I think it's like womanly and sexy, but I also I find it itchy. So I don't have any need to have hair.
That's the thing. I can't stress it enough that it is not about.
It's not an aesthetic thing.
It's not for men also. Like, you deal with whatever I want to do, but it's uncomfortable for me.
Yeah, it's itchy. It's totally.
And then you want to wear a bathing suit. You know, we live in California. If we're not, we're traveling, you know, then you got to deal with that. You know, I'm scarred from my mom asking me if I could look at her pubes.
And people really had bushes back then.
No, my mom, when I was a kid, I've said this before, but I remember a couple times she had like a bathing suit on and she called me in and was like, can you see any like hair on the sides of this? And I was like, I have to leave this family.
People had so much hair back then. I don't even know how they wore bathing suits.
That's my childhood trauma. That's my wound.
Which wound is that? The pubic hair wound. The pubic hair in the 80s wound.
Okay.
I have news.
Okay.
Which I want to share. This is a week late, but we do record. No, you already know this. We've been talking about it all the time.
Why did I think I was going to get some like, fresh tea?
Fresh tea. No, there's no such thing as that in our lives. So this is a week late, but there's no one that beat the drama of being so sick of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce harder than me. I could not stand it. I feel like I'm getting waterboarded with them too. So it's just my whole feed. I just don't care. I don't fucking care. But I woke up Sunday and my entire feed was her getting off stage from her sold out show in Argentina. And like, she's kind of like walking. You guys have all seen the video. And then she's walking like really confidently and she just sees him and she just like takes off. And it's so like, it's so childlike almost in like the sweetest way. And I loved watching videos of him reacting to her change the lyrics to the song. And it's just, I love their like love for each other. It's just, it really turned it around for me.
I'm
and
so glad.
You had your theory about why, and I want to talk about it, but I loved watching him be so proud of her, so unapologetically proud of her. She's more successful than him. She's more successful than everybody in the world. I mean, he's also won multiple Super Bowls. He's really successful. But like to just watch her like get off stage and she has tens of thousands of people cheering for her, and you could tell the best moment of her life was like having her man tell her that he was proud of her. It was so special.
I couldn't get enough of it. I loved it. And I have a lot to say. I mean, I think the woman in me and the feminist in me is like, yes, this is so much more dope to see him watching her crush it than this woman watch this man play football. Yeah. I think both are great. You want to support your partner and what they do. Yeah. But like him watching her at this stadium, this worldwide tour is so much better to me to see than watching a woman cheer for her man on a football field. Totally. But as also a female performer, I relate to it on that level. And you know, some troll is going to be like, can you believe they compared themselves to Taylor Swift? We're not, but we still do perform. We still, you know, on a level, like we perform and do theaters and, you know, have a fan base and things like that. And like, it does hit you different. And I always joke and I always send these things to Sparkle Eyes and I'm like, this is us, you know, because jokingly, I'm like, he came to her show, like, and he had a crush on her and he made her the bracelet and stuff like that. So I'll always joke, and the way he holds her hand reminds me very much of us, like kidding. But the way she runs off, I was like, I feel like it was the way I ran up to him in LA. You know, like I was like, I'm going to do that when we get off the stage at the Beacon. Like, it's really nice. And so it hits me on like a personal level. But I also like it because I think it's sending a good message of like a man showing up for his partner. Like, I think, you know, I know that they're celebrities and they're not relatable to the average person, but they still are people that like little girls look up to. And like so many little girls look up to Taylor Swift. And it's like, it's nice to see not just her going to support her partner, but him showing up for her and like what it really looks like to like look at your partner with such admiration and like show up.
I know. She's weirdly relatable in a way that she shouldn't be.
Well, this is so public. It's shocking.
Well, I want to talk about that too. But she's relatable. Like, she can sell out like 3 times what Beyonce can sell out, and like Jennifer Lopez.
Different, but you're right.
And like she just can. But like I've never seen Beyonce hop off a stage and move her body like that. She just sort of like hops off and like runs towards Travis Kelce. I've never seen another artist do this. And you look at her and you're like, she's me. She's what I would do.
You're right. And Beyonce is godlike. She is larger than life. She doesn't feel human.
Yes.
And that's not to say that she doesn't show human emotion and whatnot. And like Jay-Z came to all her shows too. And the show in LA, he was right there. She was like being all sexy for him. We love to see it. But Taylor Swift does feel like more human and like a real person. Like you can see yourself in her. And also I can see myself in her because she is tall and she looks awkward sometimes.
She looks really awkward.
Like the way she ran, I wanted to say it looked awkward, but I was like, that is me.
That is you.
Our bodies are not that different. Our bodies aren't that different.
The way that she was like had this like fierce walk and then broke out into like a childlike run.
I don't even want to see the video that Ryan shot of me running up to Sparkle Eyes.
It's the exact same. Ashley, like I saw that video and I was like, is this Ashley? It's childlike.
Hard to look sexy at 5'10". It's hard to. You would look sexier. It's hard to look.
No one looks sexy running
with
by
these
the way.
long limbs.
No one looks sexy running. But also, it's just like, I can't believe I'm talking about this like it even matters.
I can't
anymore
either,
in
bitch.
society.
I can't either.
But like, here you have it, guys. Now I'll talk about it. No one she's dated in the past, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, no one like showed up for her publicly like this. I've never seen anybody she's ever dated be like so openly hyping her. I feel like Joe Alwyn, like who even knew who that guy was?
I fucking love it. I get like really emotional thinking about it. And you're exactly right. And can I tell you what a very funny thought last night? I thought like, because they do feel weirdly relatable. I thought of this like, when are they going to hard launch on Instagram?
I've been waiting.
She posted today, and in my mind, I was like, "Wait, what if the last photo is him?" Like, I put them in our reality that they're going to do a hard launch or a soft launch.
I know they're weirdly relatable. I don't. She changed like the lyrics to a song in front of like, I don't know, 70,000 people, and they just pan him and he's like head in his hands and it's like so cute.
I saw a comment that said he didn't know how to vibe because he's going.
Well, no man knows how to vibe to Taylor Swift.
Well, I'm saying like Travis Kelce, he can dance, he has flavor, but that's not the kind of music. But he was still doing his R&B swag to Karma. Karma is like watching him.
I saw these guys like you don't expect to be Taylor Swift fans, like Andrew Schultz and Nick Viall, and like all these guys at the concerts, and I like watching them try to dance to it. So she won me back. I think I'm bored watching her in this like box, cheer for him in football. I don't care that much. I mean, listen, it's really wild. Yeah, Brittany Mahomes is ruined it for me.
It's Brittany Mahomes curls. It's not her. It's just the curls. Brush them out, sis.
She's in a Skims ad. That's our sponsor today.
I know. I don't want to hate too hard because they are the family of Skims, apparently.
They're like the America's family. Like they won multiple Super Bowls.
Rayna, they're not America's family, and you know that.
When you said, and you know that.
The Kardashians are America's family. You and I are America's family. You, me, and Azul. And Sparkle Eyes. Okay. Well, let's talk about Skims then.
Oh, thank God. I thought you'd never ask. I'm so excited. We just got all of our new Skims stuff and their holiday stuff. Woo!
Skims is just taking over the world. I mean, this NBA collab, I will say that it starts to become synonymous with sexy. Like, Sparkle Eyes, for example, is like, oh, are those your Skims? Like, because it feels so soft. It looks so good. It's so flattering. Like the new lace bralettes. Like I woke up the other day and I threw on joggers with the hot pink lace bralette and just sent him a photo. And he's just like, I've not stopped thinking about that photo. And like, it's just become this thing between us even of like, oh, those are Skims. Like, I don't know. It's like, it's just in my everyday conversations.
I wear it around the house just to be feeling myself, and everything they make is sexy. The boxer briefs I wear, that have like a matching bra, I love. So this really is the perfect present for boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives,
everybody,
for your family.
I know. Like, spoiler alert, Sparkle Eyes, you're getting some because he doesn't have any Skims underwear yet. Did you see Christina Zias? She had the same pajamas as the Mahomes family. She posted it last night.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my gosh. I actually was joking. I was like, this is a good palate cleanser for me, your family in these pajamas. But they looked incredible.
So Skims is creating the next generation of loungewear for everybody. Truly, there is so much to choose from. So Ashley and I picked a bunch, and we got a bunch of these like great gift sets. So the cotton jersey scoop bralette 2-pack. So you get a red. I picked red and soot. I got a bunch of different 5-packs.
I got that too, Rayna. We got the same thing.
Yeah, we're the same.
Yeah. Okay.
I got a bunch of 5-packs. So I got the cotton jersey dipped thong 5-pack. I'm loving the colors they're doing right now. So they have marble, baby pink, red, brick, and soot. Normally I was getting like shades of beige and black, but now I like incorporate some
pops,
of the reds,
the red,
and
the
pinks.
flamingo.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's that cotton jersey, which we're obsessed with. It's just nothing is softer.
It feels so nice. It's the only thing I'll sleep in if I sleep in clothing.
You wore it to a show.
You
were under
Skims boy shorts.
You were under. I was about to say underpants, and I was like, "Ew, that's Rayna's word." You wore Skims boy shorts to our LA show, underwear to a show.
Take that shit everywhere.
Yeah,
I know. I was like, is this okay? And everybody was like, you look so good in it. Wear it. So your favorite Skims staples, they have fits everybody, cotton, soft lounge, and sleep are now available in cheerful colors and festive prints. We really, really love the colors they're doing right now. Plus, Skims signature holiday collections are back for the season and designed for literally the whole family. You have never been this cozy for the holidays, and they have tons of colors and so many sizes to choose from. So they have from double X small to 4X for women and unisex styles that start at newborn sizing for children's styles.
I know. I saw Kim this morning on my Instagram feed going through like the different types of like the cozy materials, and she was like, "My kids all live in this," and it was just like this onesie. I was like, "I want to live in that."
I know. I want to live in it too.
Yeah, just perfect gifts. Can't stress it enough.
Skims makes holiday shopping so easy with styles for everyone in the family. Skims Holiday Gift Shop is the destination for all your gifting needs. Believe the hype. Skims has over 100,000 5-star reviews for a reason. Skims Holiday Gift Shop is now open at skims.com. Plus, get free shipping on orders over $75. After you place your order, be sure to let them know that we sent you. Select podcast in the survey and be sure to select our show in the drop-down menu that follows.
Yes, please don't forget to do that. We really want them to know that you heard about Skims from us.
Yes.
Okay, so another incredible holiday gift is going to be Storyworth. And I have talked about Storyworth at length. We did this for my mom and also for my dad. So many people in my family have done it. My cousins have done it for my aunts and uncles. And I just can't stress enough how like really special this is and the best way to document your loved one's stories and memories. And it can be challenging to write an entire book of life memories, but Storyworth makes it fun and easy. So anyone can write a book about their life. Storyworth is offering $10 off your first purchase at storyworth.com/GGE. So you sign up and then pick obviously the family member that this is going to go to. Let's say your mom, for example, and then every week Storyworth will email the family member a single life-related question from the collection, and you can pick these. So you can just let them pick, or you can go in and be like, this is the one that I want my mom to write about. This one's more relevant to her life, things like that. So it might be like, what's the bravest thing you've ever done? Or if you could wake up tomorrow with one superpower, what would it be and why? Things like from their past, like your first love, your first job. I remember when I always cite this example, it was like, what did you do for your 30th birthday? And my mom was married to my dad. And, this is like right before I was born. And it was like what they did. And it was really special to read about what my parents did for my mom's 30th. And I just really thought it was so special. And then they compile it into this really cool book. So if you're picturing just like, a gifty picture book, scrapbook, it's not that. It's like a book. It's really nice, high quality, this exquisite hardcover book, super like valuable keepsake. And then you can add photos in it as well. And it can be cherished by everybody in the family for generations. Millions of stories have already been told with Storyworth because they make the process so simple. So you can go ahead and get started. You can help your family share their story this holiday season with Storyworth. Go to storyworth.com/GGE today and save $10 on your first purchase. That's STORYWORTH.com/GGE to save $10 on your first purchase.
So I have to go home for the holidays. And I say I have to because it is so hard to get to Pittsburgh from LA. It is really a nightmare. But my brother is flying in from London with his wife, so I'll get to see them. And yeah, I'll be in Pittsburgh for the week. It'll be nice. We're just gonna spend some time with my sister-in-law and her family and my family, and that's it. I don't have anything else more special to say. I just want to talk about what you were doing. That's it. That's all I got.
Well, this weekend, which is the weekend before Thanksgiving, as we record, I am going to Boston to be with Sparkle Eyes. So we're kind of celebrating the holidays. It's also time for me to go there. I haven't been there in a minute. So I'm going there. I'm meeting his parents for the first time.
How do you feel?
I feel great. I'm really excited. I feel like I know a lot about them. They know a lot about me. His mom's seen us on like The View and talking about him.
Is she gonna cook?
Gail or CBS mornings too. We're going out to brunch.
Okay, you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have met his sister and her husband. I mentioned that before, and they're wonderful. So I'm really excited. The final people to meet are his parents, and we're just gonna have a nice, really cute weekend in Boston. We're gonna do a day trip, I think, up to like Portsmouth, New Hampshire one day. We're gonna see Mateo.
Yay.
So Mateo is doing 6 or 7 shows at the Wilbur.
He's an animal.
So we're gonna go see him. Which cute thing is that's where we met.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna go to the Wilbur, and I'm just really excited. And then Monday, I'm going to Delaware and still in this home buying process. I had a really discouraging situation happen last week where I put an offer in this house and was sure I was going to get it, and I didn't. It just really took the wind out of my sails, and I feel so motivated to still buy a house there. And so I'm going to see some while I'm home, and then do the holidays and come back here.
Okay.
After that.
That'll be fun.
So that's the plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Rayna, I had an idea. I think that we should start taking dating applications for you.
Great. Let's do it.
So if you have somebody that is age appropriate, 30s,
I'll go up to 45.
33 to 45?
I'll go 35, 45.
35 to 45.
33 is a little young. No offense.
Wow. Shots fired. She really...
I heard the air leave Tess's body.
Had lunch and then chose violence today. I'm also older than you. I hate you. I'm out here trying to help you.
Some of us can't run with younger men the way you can.
Okay. So 35 to 45.
33 is fine.
45 is too old for me. So
45 is too old for me.
No,
I'm just
it's
trying not trying to be an ageist. Let's be honest. It's way too old for me.
30. Okay. 35 to 45.
33 to 43.
You guys use your discretion.
We will make special acceptances for people that are 32 or 43 and above.
7. Okay. 7. They need to have a job.
Yes.
That
or be independently very wealthy.
Sure. That too. Stability in their career. Something that they enjoy doing. Liberal enough. Let's believe in abortion.
Let's believe in abortion.
Let's have them be pro-choice.
I like that you said liberal enough.
Well, I don't know.
You know how it's fine.
It could be moderately But what is it?
I'm fine. Yeah.
Financially, fiscally conservative. Rich.
I want you to believe in the rights
Yes, of course.
of gay people, trans people, women. I want you to believe in human rights for other people.
But not too far left.
like if you want to sleep next to a handgun, I'm fine with that too.
But not too far left where you're like, everything's just.
We have to go to a march
energy
every
and
weekend.
meditation and- Right. Rayna's not going to march with you every week. She'll donate. She'll donate. She'll
I don't wanna
sponsor
go to the
your walk.
march.
And attractive, preferred bald, muscular with tattoos, but will settle for
Muscular with tattoos and not bald.
with hair. And funny
Yeah, I think that'd be
enough.
fun.
Yeah, you need to have a good sense of humor and be able to banter with you. You know, doesn't hate his family. If he doesn't have one, that's fine.
That's fine.
You've been there
We
before.
can just we with my family.
We
all the
have-
time, or
we have our
yours.
own family.
Well, actually,
We're actually America's
We'll be with
family.
Ashley's family for Christmas, so it's actually better for me if you don't have a family.
So listen, guys, don't bomb the inbox if you don't really have a candidate. But if you really feel like you might have somebody
In New York and
New York
LA.
or LA,
Yeah, either one of those.
or like I don't know if they're like sort of New York, LA, but they're like in Austin. Right
Austin.
now.
I was gonna say Austin. That's
Austin.
fine. I could deal with Austin.
Yeah.
It's liberal adjacent.
Let's say you have this guy that lives in like. Remember I talked to that guy that one time just because he was like
You're gonna be
hot
more
in
specific.
Arizona. Somebody messaged me and was like, "My friend has a crush on you. He's like seen you or whatever."
Yes, I do.
And he
I
was
do.
hot, and we started dating. But it was never gonna work.
Listen, it has to be somewhere that I'm willing to live at one point in my life.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I'm not like moving to Boston, but we're making it work.
Totally.
So I'm leading this charge.
I love it.
I will read applications.
You know, I was having some weird feelings this weekend, and I woke up. Today's a new day, and we're only dating people that make sense.
Yes, that makes sense. I love that energy.
Yes,
Yes.
because all this other childish behavior is beneath me.
Okay, well, I'm glad. Let me cross off my notes. Taking data applications for
Oh my
Rayna.
god, that's so cute. Thanks for doing that.
Okay.
Do you have anything else?
I'm just excited to be in charge of this.
I mean, honestly, someone has to be. And I
you're
don't
not.
want it to be me. Okay. I make notes sometimes inside of my notebook that just says like go on a dating app, and then I don't do it. I had that one date recently that was like kind of bad and it like scared me a little bit. I didn't like it.
Yeah. But I just think, I love our listeners so much. I know we gas up our listeners and thank them all the time, but they are so special. Like you've said this before on a recent episode, we've been getting so many more emails than usual. Everything's just been so positive and wonderful. And the things that you guys send us and message us and share with us is just really incredible. I know hands down, we have the best audience in the world. And so I just trust them. I mean, I met my now boyfriend through a
I
Girls
know.
Gotta Eat
I
listener.
know.
So I just trust them, that they might have like a friend or a cousin or a brother or a friend of a friend, like something like they get us.
Absolutely. And then I could be at your Thanksgiving dinners next year. You never
So
know.
true. Yeah. You want to win a Thanksgiving with Rayna?
Just find me my next boyfriend.
I'm obsessed with this contest.
I can't wait for you to do it for me. That's
Yeah.
what you're gonna do on the plane. I'm glad that you brought up, and thank you guys. Just email stories@girlsgottaeat.com.
Sorry, stories@girlsgottaeat.com and write just something funny,
Boyfriend
Rayna,
for Rayna.
I was just thinking about this as I spend more time in Boston. Like, I just feel really like our listeners there. Like, I love them so much. Like, some cities feel a little bit more like home than others, and that's not even a city that I've been to so much. But it's like our Boston girlies, like I feel taken care of. Like I broke that nail that time and they were in my DMs with the nail salon Rex. Like I feel like as I spend time there, like anything I need, they got me. Like on the streets, in the DMs, I just feel really like taken care of by them.
Well, I'm glad you brought this up because this is my notes for today because it is Thanksgiving week. And I just wanted to thank our listeners, obviously. And
Yeah.
I've been a little emo and it might feel like this is Friday night. I wanted to like end my week. Ashley and I do try to respond to all the thank you emails you guys send. And it might take us a month or two sometimes, but we do try to get to it. And we always, I hope, make you feel thanked for giving us your time and your stories and your money. Honestly, you come to live shows, you support Vibes Only. Like to do anything for 6 years is unreal to me, but to do it like with somebody that I love and have an audience like this that has like grown up with us, like I'll never do anything that means more than that. I never will. This is it. And so many of the emails, they don't just say like, I love the show, it's so funny. They say like, you taught me how to own who I am. You taught me self-confidence. Like you showed me how to like be myself again.
Yeah.
And so many of you shared emails about really horrible situations in your lives, divorces and illnesses and loss of parents and struggles having children, and to know that like we're like with you and making you like feel like you're okay and you can be confident and you have like a friend out there in the world that understands you. Like nothing will ever mean more to me. So thank you guys, and we love you. And to be able to do this for so many years is so special to me. And to be able to do it with somebody I love, like Ashley, is really wonderful. And we found Tessa this year, and we're so thankful for her. And she works so hard, and she's so wonderful. And I don't know, I'm just very thankful for this community.
I am too. I was weirdly thinking about this morning on my walk, like just what you and I have done over the years, and like how we just still look at each other like, how is this real life? And we couldn't do it without our listeners. And, you know, that just jogged my memory that we didn't actually say a thank you post San Diego because we were recording before we went to San Diego. San Diego was wonderful. It was an incredible show, but we did kick off the show when we read this email, and this woman wrote in. The email was like about her best friend, basically being by her side through breast cancer and a divorce and like an all-time low, and just kept her laughing and like sharing this podcast with her and just like keeping her afloat, you know, and like the whole audience stood up and gave her like a standing ovation. Why am I doing this? That show, we started on that note, and then of course it got like funny and crazy, but it was like this really special friendship, and girlfriends are what help us survive, you know? And so the women that realize that really, you know, you get it. And thank you for being a part of this community, like Rayna said.
Yeah,
So
I love you guys.
happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
The show has gotten so emo. Wait, I didn't cry so much. It used to be why they laugh so much and why they cry so much. They're just old and hormonal.
Emotional.
They're premenopausal.
Well, we're going to thank one more partner and then get into the episode with Alyssa.
Do you want to kick it off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, this isn't like a crazy order. I never start the ad reads.
Oh, that was weird.
That was insane. What just happened? You just rolled right into
We
the next
got
one.
real juiced up about Skims.
Well, we just love it. And really, another partner of ours that I have been and we have been juiced up about for years is Article. You know that I am like hyper obsessed with like the interior design of my home. I was in New York. I am in LA. And Article believes in delightful design for every home. And thanks to their online only model, they have really delightful prices too. So if you go to their website, they have tons of different styles. They have mid-century modern, coastal, industrial, Scandi, and boho. A thing that Ashley and I both love so much about their website is no matter what you pick, they kind of show you how to style it. So if you're like, I don't know where this couch is going to live and like what other furniture to put around it, they show you photos of how other people have styled it. So I love that about their website.
Yes, I've been going so hard in this home buying journey, and I'll like see a house and then I'll do like a 3D tour if it's available, and then I'll be like, how would I decorate this? And I'll do this for hours. It's starting to be like too much. Like I'm on Zillow so much, and I'm like, could I make this work? Could I do this? And like I just pulled this link up because I was like, okay, if I did this, what I would do in this room is like do a really cool looking sofa bed, like something that obviously looks like a couch but could still be a bed. And sure enough, even just a quick Google search brought me right to Article, and this Solna Atelier ivory sofa bed for $1,400, which is just a great price for the quality. It's going to last forever. Like it's just really great stuff.
It is great stuff. I'm looking at
What
this
is that Boucle King bed?
Boucle King bed.
Rayna, that bed. Are you
The
kidding
Kyra
me?
Ivory Boucle King bed. Oh, I want to
I'm
get
like
down in that
horny.
bed. I
I'm
know.
looking at that bed. Well, you're touching your tits.
I'm always touching my tits. I wanted this when I moved in here, and I forget why I pivoted.
Outdoor stuff.
Well,
like
I just think, this is the colder months. We're going to be inside a lot more. Why not decorate a home that you are excited to be inside of? Because it's a lot of months that you're going to be inside of there.
Yeah.
So revamp your bedroom, your living room, everything with Article. Prices really are fantastic. They offer fast, affordable shipping across the US and Canada, and they won't leave you waiting around, so you can pick a delivery time, and they'll send you updates every step of the way. And they have a great customer care team as well, so they'll make it smooth and stress-free, and we'll give you guys a little treat. Article is offering you $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. To claim, visit article.com/GGE, and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout. That's article.com/GGE for $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more.
Okay, we are so excited for you guys to hear this conversation with our guest today. We couldn't love it anymore.
Yes.
So get into it.
Okay, guys, we are so excited to finally welcome a friend of ours to the show. We've wanted her on here for so long. We've both done her podcast. We hang out with her all the time. She is you're an influencer. You're just like my fashion goddess.
Gossip Factory.
Gossip Factory. You are the host of Tea with Publyssity and the owner of the tea company, Tea with Publyssity.
Sure
Please
am.
welcome to the show our friend. We're so happy to have you here, Alyssa Amoroso.
Hi.
Hi.
No, I'm so excited to be here. And we've had a journey because our friendships started
On your podcast.
on my podcast separately.
Yes, I was just thinking that. We were talking on the beach. We all went to the beach Saturday because, you know, it's like November in LA. And we were talking with Allie Colbert about like how you're such a person like you immediately vibe with.
That's so
we were
nice.
friends within like 5 minutes. And probably same with you.
Well, Ashley like did your podcast and she could not stop talking about it. She's like, I vibed with her immediately. We're gonna be such good friends. And I was like, you can't have a friend that I don't have. And she just like loved doing your podcast. She really came home. She talked about you constantly. And she's like, listen to her talking. And I was like, I want to do that podcast.
we were about to live the same life.
Yes.
Yeah, it was really weird, but also like that's such a nice compliment that you guys think I vibe with people instantly. And like, yes, I'm a people person, but it's because you guys are like that too.
Yeah.
Like we just hit it all, like our energies matched.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like because me, like we just got along. We were doing the exact same thing at the exact same time, which was like so weird.
Yeah. Well, and then you connected this whole friend group here in LA.
Yeah.
We talked about this in the podcast. You just had like 5 girls over one night. We walked in. It was just like immediate. Like,
I don't believe in gatekeeping, like contacts or friends. Like if I'm like, oh, I'm launching this thing and you're like, oh, I want to do that. I'm like, oh, I'll introduce you to the person.
Yeah.
I don't believe in like gatekeeping contacts, people. Like I want my friends to be friends. I want
Yeah.
everyone to meet. Like I just think that's how the world goes around.
You're not about gatekeeping anything like deals. Every
No.
like thing on your Instagram is like a day in a life with me.
Yeah.
So we talked about me doing painting in my house and that I like had like followed this girl's Instagram on how to like go get a framed piece of canvas from Home Goods and I did it myself. That's because of you.
Yep.
So you really do every day you do like a day in the life of like here's all this stuff that I do, a lot of home decor, a lot of fashion.
Because I'm nosy. I want to know. Like that's why I always think like people always say they're like, oh, I don't know. I don't want. They pretend like they don't want to know. I'm like, we want to know. Like we are all nosy.
Yes.
So if I know, I would want to know how you got that art. I'm going to show you how I got it.
Yeah.
Because I'd be sitting at home being like, how did you do that?
Did you see that meme? It was like, I'm not gullible enough to be lured into a cult, but I am nosy enough.
No, that's me. That's literally me.
That's like that's how I feel. Like all of a
That's
sudden
how I would
you're
get
in the
sucked
cult
in.
just because you're like you know it's
Yes.
a cult, but you're like I still gotta find out what.
No, I just watched that Twin Flames.
Okay,
I watched it last
documentary.
night in bed.
Wait,
Did
okay,
you watch
same.
it?
And no, I didn't, and I feel like I want to see it.
No, and I'm like, do I join the Facebook group? And then I'm like, no, because that's a downward spiral.
then you're in the cult. I know, because I would be like, I could sort of see why some of this makes sense. You know?
I was like, do I join just to be nosy? And then I'm like, no, I'm going to fully be initiated. Like, I can't.
That one, okay, listen, if you're in that cult, that's your fault. Okay.
No, I agree.
Some of them I understand, like Nexium, I like understand some cults like falling into them. This cult day one is like, you know that guy that DM'd you on Instagram, like a song, and you're like, this is a fucking creep. They're like, what you should do is move to Oklahoma and live with that guy.
Yeah, like the guy with no picture. And
Guys, I
I
gotta
mean,
watch
we've
this
all
tonight.
had those.
Okay, so
God bless
Alyssa, give us
Marley.
a little background. Obviously, you used to be a publicist, and
Yeah.
that's your background, and you moved here to test it out, and then stayed like us. So, just give us like a brief
Little
pitch
brief.
of you.
Okay, my elevator pitch is that I always joke I was like a publicist, like out of the womb, but I didn't know it. Like I talked my way into college.
Oh, that's right,
I've
yeah.
like pitched myself into every job I've ever had. Like it's just how I have gotten through life. I was pitching myself to get into college before I knew that like what pitching was. So I talked my way into college, had like 5 million internships. Like I was that girl. I had like 8 internships before I graduated college. Got a job as a publicist like the day after graduation. Started living and working in New York City. While I was working in PR, I worked in PR for 5 years. 2.5 of those years I did my like at the time blog and like
Yeah.
Instagram at the same time. So I wasn't one of those people, like a lot of the influencers I met in New York, just like their parents kind of like funded their influencer life and they just lived in the city and like wore Chanel. And I'm like, how are you guys doing this? I was working for 2.5 years while doing it on the side. Like I fully needed 2 salaries. You make nothing in PR.
Yeah.
And then I think when I reached like a certain number of followers, I just was like, fuck it. I'm quitting my job. I was like, this is the only time I don't want to look back in 20 years and be like, I should have took that leap of faith. So I'm like, I'm just going to do it. My parents were so scared, but I like did it against their advisement. Like I just quit my job. I've always listened to my gut. And when I quit and I was just doing Instagram full time, I was like, I need something else to do because like I don't own Instagram. Like Instagram could go away tomorrow. And like what assets do I own? So I started my podcast called the Publyssity podcast at the time. Had it for like 2 years on my own, just exclusively talking about pop culture and like having on reality stars. And then in COVID, I was so bored with celebrities because I'm like, people are dying. It wasn't fulfilling me. I was single as hell. I talked to my first psychic. So all of a sudden I'm like spiritual. I'm like going on like my hot girl walks. I was like a different person at that point in time. You know, we were all going on 4-hour walks in COVID because that's all we could do.
That was my personality.
Yeah, I was journaling. I was like reading this book called Calling in the One to like call in my soulmate. Like I was like a different girl. So I was like, I need to talk about this shit on my podcast. Also, I put on weight. Like just all this shit was happening. And I was like, there's no podcast that I find like on the big networks that I could relate to at this current state in my time. There probably were, but like that's just how I felt. So I pitched my podcast to Dave Portnoy. And then I wound up getting the job. I switched the name to Tea with Publyssity. And then that podcast, I still obviously have such a big like pop culture love and I talk about it throughout. But that's when I really revamped the podcast to talk more about life and body image and mental health and all of that. Left there after a year and a half.
Barstool, for anybody who doesn't know.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Got fired, I should say.
No. I meant just like people probably know Dave Portnoy, but anyway, you were on Barstool.
Yeah, got fired.
Oh God.
On a whim, which was good. And then I took the podcast out on my own and I've just been doing it ever since. And then this year I launched my tea business. So that's like the long story short. But it's been like 8 years in this industry. So it's crazy.
You make me laugh so hard talking about how you negotiated your way into college. You remind me of Cher Horowitz being like, grades are just jumping off point to start negotiations.
Yeah.
No, this is how I also got jobs. You know how everyone's like, you need to know someone to get a job? No, I would go straight to the CEO. Like I would pitch them on LinkedIn. I'd pitch Dave. Like I don't believe in, that's a whole nother like conversation, but I don't believe in like just applying on LinkedIn and like being one of a million candidates.
No, my dad always told me. My dad said, pick the jobs you want, go apply for them. Who cares if there's a job?
You have to ask.
Yeah,
like, I was in Atlanta. I was like, I think I should be on TV. Yeah, and I just like talked to this producer. I was like, can I do a segment on CBS Better Mornings? Did not know how to dress, had my old face, the whole thing. And they were like, I pitched an idea and they were like, sure. And
if
I was
you
like,
don't ask,
I'm just going to be on TV now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't ask, don't
Like,
receive.
I asked and I pitched it well, and they were like, "That sounds pretty dope." I mean, I didn't make any money, but like,
no, same.
It
Half of
started the whole
things.
trajectory of like TV, radio, you know, in Atlanta. But still, like,
I've always done that. Like I just go straight to the person in charge, and I'm like, hey,
who's in charge here? And so, same as us, just a few months earlier, you were like, "I'm going to try out LA," and stayed. And where are you now?
Okay, this is weird because I don't know if you guys feel like this, but so many people ask me when I meet new people, they're like, what brought you here? And I'm like,
Rayna and Ashley.
No, but I'm literally like, nothing. It wasn't work. We could work from anywhere. So for us, it's not that. It was kind of like, I don't know, but what brought me here was like, I needed to switch up my energy.
Yeah.
Nothing was changing in New York. Like I was just stagnant. Like I was completely stagnant. I was like unhappy with like my body image. I wasn't dating. My career, like after I got laid off, like I was trying to recreate it on my own and I was doing a fine job, but I just didn't feel like invigorated by anything. I think after COVID, the city felt really different to me. A lot of my friends had like moved out and gotten married, or people were just picking up and moving left and right. Like who's in Miami, who's here, who's there. And I think I was just like, I need to change or nothing will. My two options were, which is like so different. I was like, either I'm going to move to Hoboken because my sister's there. My parents live in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And I was like, at least I could be near my nephew. I could have more space. I can get a car. I really like had this weird thing in my head where I wanted a car. I was like, or I could move to LA, but like that seems so far-fetched. So I'll just do a trial and see if I like it.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks in, I'm like, I'm staying.
It's been exactly 1 year, right?
Yeah, 1 year.
November.
I mean, Ashley and I promote this all the time. Like, if you're not happy, pivot. And it sounds like you've done this your whole life. It sounds like you've just been like, I don't like this anymore. I'm going to do the next thing. I'm going to follow my heart. And like, it will be good because I'm excited and I'm invigorated.
I'm really not scared of change. But that makes me nervous sometimes because I'm like, what's going to happen when I have like kids and a husband? Like, nah, I'm over this.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like maybe you're like us where, no, you're not scared of change, but you're not this crazy fly by the seat of your pants all the time. It seems like you also appreciate having roots, having stability.
Yeah, I do.
too. You know,
Well,
like
it's calculated
you're not
change
like
to
a
me.
wild, you know.
It's more just like I like to switch things up. If I feel like something's not working,
Yeah.
I'll sit in it for a while. I'll be there. And then all of a sudden you wake up one day and you're like, I got to do something. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's why I redecorate my apartment every Like I'm already getting the itch to move and I just lived here. I'm like, I could redecorate a new place. Like it's so bad.
It's exciting. It's not bad though. I like what you said. We're like, you have a really solid family life. We know your parents. They're really wonderful. And we're going to obviously talk about your boyfriend. And we've like watched the whole trajectory of this. Like you have roots, you have stability. And within those roots and stability, you pivot around a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like you move to a different city every year.
No. And this is my first time really ever picking up and moving away from my family.
Yes.
And I think that's really interesting because it was really something I had to grapple with in my head. And I really respect my friend that said this to me after I moved, but I really resonate. She was like, I'm so thankful you chose LA because I got really worried that if you went to Hoboken, your whole life would become your nephew and like just babysitting him, staying in with him because I see how much you love him. And I'm really happy you made the choice for yourself.
Yeah, I love that.
And I felt that way. Like I had to really come to terms with like, I love my nephew more than anything.
Same.
And if I could see him every single day, I would. But I'm like, but that's living his life. Like
Yeah.
I need to live like my life for me. And I'm sure you guys had to come to terms with that too, moving.
Yeah, I mean, I moved to New York from Atlanta, so then I was like so close to my family. It was so easy to like get in the car, and then my nephew was born, and I was like, how could I leave this? I mean, not as close
It's
as
tough.
you physically, but just like I think you and I both really made it work. Like
Yeah,
I feel
we
like
do.
we're always with our nephews. It's,
Always.
It's just like, are these people bi-coastal? Like,
We have a standing FaceTime date every single day.
Yeah, it's really sweet.
Yeah, 3 p.m.
So we want to talk to you about your relationship and about meeting him. We think the world of him. We love him. He makes me laugh so hard. I want to give him a name.
Well, you
I call
had
him
a name.
Ernie.
She had him Ernie.
Ernie?
Except last night I hard launched his name on my Instagram.
I was like, full
couldn't
name.
believe it. I was like, oh my God.
Can you remember we had the conversation at the beach? I was like, I think I'm going to start saying your name.
Are
He's
we
like,
allowed
let
to
me
say
think
it?
about it. And then like a day later, he's like, you could do it.
But
Can we
he's
do it
not
now?
on social, right?
Yeah, his
Which is
name's
a
Sean.
dream.
Well, this is the reason why we decided it's fine. You can't find him.
You can't fucking
He's
find
like,
him.
Not on LinkedIn.
What a
Like, he has
dream.
nothing.
What a dream.
So I was like, what's the point? Why am I keeping your name secret? Because
Yes.
it's kind of awkward because I'm going to family gatherings and my cousin's like, how's Ernie?
Yeah.
Which I came up with. I couldn't think of a nickname for him. And I was like, he's like literally the most earnest person I've ever met. So I was like, I'm going to call him Ernie. Also, I told him that. He laughed for 45 minutes. Like he thought it was the funniest thing. And then I was like, he's not on social media. Like he's
Yeah,
not
what a dream.
anywhere. Like when I went on our first date, I tried to find him. I couldn't even find like
No.
an old Facebook, nothing. So I was like, you know what? Why am I protecting his name? Like
No one
it's
can
just a
find
first
him.
name.
right. I laugh so hard when I'm around him. Like, would it be weird to call him Giggles?
Giggles.
But like,
He is so funny.
I
Like,
giggle when I'm around him.
he's like our favorite boyfriend we've
Yeah,
met.
he's
like
really
so
funny.
immediately. He doesn't need to grow on you. He's funny immediately.
He's obsessed with you guys. He talks about you like all the time.
So the
Like,
night we
truly.
met him, we're gonna talk about like your trajectory and the DTR
Yeah,
and him meeting your parents and all that stuff. But like the night we met him, he came to the Devil Wears Prada with us.
the outdoor movie. And it's funny because we had an extra ticket.
and he was wearing my like Guido sweatshirt because
Yes.
that's all I had to give him.
But it started as a joke that he was going to go. And then I was like, wait, but could he pick us up?
yeah, he like drove.
to the other side of town
Yeah.
to pick us up.
Yeah.
And then drove and came with us and dropped us off after. And you know when I knew I loved Sean is when we were driving down Santa Monica Boulevard and I told him I had phone sex with somebody with a weird voice. And he started mocking the voice.
Yeah.
And like impersonating the voice. And I was like, I just met this person 5
and he
minutes ago
said
and
like
I love him.
he said like a graphic word too. He said like pussy or something. And I was like, I didn't even know you had this
Yeah.
in you. Like,
yeah, you're welcome.
And he was just like, yeah, there were some things also that when people surprise me, like that's my favorite thing.
he surprises me all the time because I was kind of like debriefing him a little before he met you guys. I'm like, they're really like sex positive. Like, because I pictured him to be this like quiet in his shell type of guy.
Yeah,
yeah.
And he's like, oh, those are my favorite kind of people. Like, he loves no filtered people. So he's like all about it. But I'm like, I didn't know this about him because he just seems so earnest. Like,
Yes. So the theme of this relationship that we were like want to unpack is that like I think there's like conventional relationship advice of like you should do this thing. And like you introduced him to a bunch of your friends really early on. He
I
met your
know.
parents before you had the DTR. Like I want to talk about all that.
Yeah.
'cause
our
I
first
think it's
date
really
was 3
special and
days.
unique.
Also
Yes,
unconventional.
also that. But I want to talk about this concept from the beginning of like, basically you kind of just had an experience that jump started like your confidence in a way
Yeah.
to like get on Hinge and like meet him.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've been on Hinge for like 10 years. Like, it's been a fucking decade.
When
on
was the last
Hinge.
like really serious relationship you'd been in?
A decade ago. Like,
Okay.
really like serious. Like, I was like, had a long-term boyfriend for multiple years. And then everything else in between was like months long things, unrequited love, like those things that just like torture your soul, where like you like them, but then they don't like you back at the right time. And like just so many things. And then I would say really during COVID, I was I was in a, during COVID, I was in like an international relationship with a narcissist.
Weren't we all?
Like it was just one of those times where like, because like you could only FaceTime at that time.
WhatsApp,
like,
yeah.
Yeah. So, I've had things, but I really was like, I'm not even kidding. When I quit my job in 2018 until 2023, I went through the biggest roller coaster of emotions, like working for myself, putting on weight, having a lot of sickness, like having like these hormone imbalances, working at Barstool. Like I just had all these crazy things that I like really was just in therapy for years, just like discovering myself. Not that anything was like so wrong, but I would say I just like redefined myself. So yeah, I'd been single for a long time. And then I went to Ibiza.
Okay, so you go there and what happens?
Okay, so I took a Euro trip this summer and like I've always been a manifester. Like I manifest everything, but I'm realizing now how the things I say really have come to life because I kept saying when I was on this trip, granted, I know people don't like cheat on their bachelorette parties, but I kept saying, this is my bachelorette party. Like this is my going away party. And I don't know why I was saying that. Like I just had this weird feeling that I was like, this is my last hurrah.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that so
That
weird?
really gives me chills. Yeah.
I kept saying it. I was like, this is my last single girls trip I'm ever going to take like this.
That's what you did before you met Sparkle Eyes. You did a last hurrah. You really did. You were like, this is my Ashley Hasseltine Renaissance.
Yes.
Like, I'm horny. I'm off birth control. I'm going to fuck the whole world. And then you
No,
met
I'm
Sparkle
telling
Eyes.
you. Do we need to host a bachelorette party for Rayna?
Yes.
I'm going away for
Yes. You want to be a huge slut. No, I wasn't that big of a slut, Sparkle Eyes. I know
No,
you're
but
listening.
like that's kind of what happened where I was like, I just had this weird thing. And I'm not saying he's like my forever, but maybe that really was like my last single trip like that. I hope, like, I don't know, unless I'm like 60 and like Ramona Singer out here. But
Ew.
I just was
I like to publicly say ew.
yeah,
about
not her,
Ramona
but you
Singer.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Okay.
those people that are living their best life in their late 60s,
Madonna.
whatever. Yeah, Madonna.
Madonna's like 80.
But I feel like I just like kind of put into the universe that like I was going to date. And okay, I also went into this trip, which I think this is really big for switching up your energy. I went into this trip being like, I'm not going to care what I look like. I'm not going to care how my clothes fit. I'm going to feel like the hottest piece of ass. Like I just was like, I'm going to be confident. Like I'm not going to let these things that have held me back in New York or in LA or when you're like at a bar, but you're in your head and you're like, you just don't feel confident. I was like, I'm just going to go into this and like live my life. And I think it's an energy exchange, like truly. And my therapist always used to say, like, it's not about what you look like or how you feel. It's about like the energy that you're putting out there. And I think I truly just went into that trip. Like, I'm not just saying this, like people were like men were coming out of the woodwork, like Italian men, everyone was international. Like no one was American. People were just, I would be holding like one guy's hand and another guy would come and like pull me off his arm. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, and I look the same as I've always looked and I'm
such an energy thing.
I'm radiating differently. And so I think I went into that trip just being like, I'm not going to care about all of these things that like hold me back in the States. I think another thing that I gave my single friend advice is I knew I wasn't going to find my husband there. So I went into the trip being like, I'm putting down all of the walls about the kind of person I want to date. I don't care if you have a head tattoo. I don't care.
A bunch of kids have been to jail.
You have in prison,
7 kids.
Right.
Just hypothetically. Just being hypothetical.
I was like, yeah, like, I was like, I don't really care if you can't travel to the US because you have a
stakes
criminal
are lower.
past.
You're like, I'm not going to marry you. I can do whatever.
So, and I said this to my friends. Now my advice that I would give to people that are stuck, stop like going out and dating with a checklist because I actually think like I met this like guy that was nutso crazy. And like, he was so not who I'd ever go for, but he weirdly gave me so much confidence.
Ashley was living for this, by the way. We were on a group chat about this. And Ashley every day, did you see what Alyssa said?
I know, and the
I
radio
was
like, was
Ashley, I'm
checked out.
in Italy. I'm trying to be in Italy this week. And just like, I was in Puglia, just trying to like do this like bougie shit. And Ashley's like, no, you need to get involved right now.
I was obsessed with it.
Yeah. An escapee that Alyssa's sleeping with.
No, didn't sleep with him.
Didn't sleep with them.
Didn't. Because
Sean, turn this off, Sean.
he said he had, so I was like, I can't be another one of
No,
those
it wasn't
women.
safe. This guy was like obsessed with you. He was like
Obsessed.
love bombing the shit out of you.
Love bombing. I also knew it, but I loved it because again, I'm never going to see you.
You know it's
again.
not real, but it
Night
feels,
one,
it feels
he's like,
good.
I'm marrying you. I'm getting your name tattooed on my ass. Like,
You're like,
I'm
do it.
obsessed with you.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
And so then basically
was
what,
a
you
lot.
fired up Hinge?
So I fired up Hinge because I was taking fire photos on the trip and I was like,
Yes.
I have this energy. And another tip, I think the energy that I was feeling came through in my photos.
Totally.
So when I changed all my photos on Hinge, my success rate was so much better because I think I was just exuding happiness.
No, you really do. You can tell.
You could tell.
People are like, you've never looked happier. I'm like, you're right.
Well, okay, this is also something, and I'm not going to say like one is better than the other, but I'm very in my masculine energy a lot. Like when I go to events in LA or New York, I'm in a suit. I'm like very like, yes, I
Boss
look
lady.
feminine, but I'm very boss lady. Like
Yeah.
all my Hinge pictures were me, stuffy, lips pursed, not smile, like very, because those are just the professional pictures I
Totally.
had, or like that's how I like to dress. Like I am very like masculine, assertive. Like I'm a Capricorn, so I'm very work driven. And
Also, do you think you like that version of yourself very much? You're really proud of that version of yourself.
I'm very
You
proud
know?
of that version, but I don't think for a while I was tapped into my feminine
Yes,
at
I
all.
hear you.
I think another thing that tapped me into my feminine was the fairy books.
So the reason why
Thought the most profound thing was about to come out of her mouth. I was like ready for it. I was like, what is she about to drop? She's about to drop the hottest take. God damn it.
people really want to know about A Court of Thorns and Roses, the reason why I'm into the fairy books is Alyssa.
Guys,
Right.
they changed. No, so I think this is what happened. I was so into Rysand, whatever his name is.
I call him Reese.
Yeah, Reese
You call him
Rice.
Rysand?
Well, I listened to the audiobook at a point so I could get the pronunciation, and I think it's like Rysand.
Okay, so let me ask you something. I just want to back up because you
Yeah.
mentioned a couple times that like you had a lot of hormone changes and that you gained weight.
Yeah.
So like, do you feel like that affected the way that you dated? And you were
Oh.
like, the version of myself that I like is this like boss bitch. I run my own company. I
Yeah.
have my own podcast. That's the version I'm going to lead with because like maybe I don't feel so good about myself sexually.
Oh, 100%. But also literally just last week I got diagnosed with PCOS, and like I have all these like imbalances. It all makes sense why it all happened.
Yeah.
But
Sorry.
I didn't know a lot of this. And yeah, I was like, what are these changes? Like, what are these feelings? It made me like shell up. I was always the most confident person, and it made me like such a shell of myself. And then I think it was also just moving was the first step to just being like starting over. I think taking the trip and just being here and like kind of being outside more and in sun more. And like, I just was like changing up my energy. Like this was like years in the making of me working on myself.
Yeah.
And like hard, like working on myself. And I also got rid of my therapist. And I feel like the real work started when I got rid of her. Because like I almost felt like it was a crutch. Like I was with her for 2 years at that point, and I felt like I would go to these sessions and be like, I have to talk about my body image today. I have to talk about being single today. When I got rid of her, I finally was able to just live and implement everything. I almost felt like it was like anchoring me to that stuff still.
Talk about this all the time. Also with couples that are in couples therapy
Yeah.
for years. And it's like, what if you just tried to do this without
What
the
if you just
third
live?
person in the relationship?
Yeah, so I felt like it was like anchoring me to
Yeah.
those things. So I got rid of her. I just started living my life.
It's really interesting because I think that
It
like
is.
we really believe in
Yes, of
therapy
course.
and it's
Like,
yes,
super
yeah, so
people have a
much.
lot of trauma to work through, but like at some point it's nice to check in with yourself and say like every week I'm making this checklist of stuff that's bad that I have to talk about my body image every week
Yes.
or my relation with my mother, and I don't want to
Right.
do
Like,
that.
I don't feel like opening this up
Yes.
today. I'm feeling good.
Yes, it's like I felt like I was beating a dead horse. I'm like, heard all of this and like now I need to implement it into my life.
Yeah.
So that was also part of the Ibiza trip. I was like, I'm going to implement this all. I'm ready to live my life now. And I made like a choice in my head to be like, I'm not letting any of this like shackle me anymore. So I went on the trip. I lived my best life. I fired up my dating profiles while I was still in Europe with these new pictures of me with good energy. And I was getting like tons of new matches coming in. And this is after me like talking to someone that told me like how to trick the Hinge algorithm, how to do this, how to do that. Guys, there's no way to like trick finding someone. You literally just have to like
Leave your house.
have good energy,
Yep.
be ready and welcome to it, because so many guys would message me and I wouldn't answer.
Well, yeah, like
Totally.
we talked about this recently with Rayna, like getting on it. It's like, it shouldn't feel like a chore.
No.
Then you're putting bad energy out there. Like you have to be in the right headspace. Like, I don't care. It comes through a phone screen. Like
Yeah.
the photos, the messages, all the things, like translate.
100%. And I say to Sean now, he's like, why do you think this worked? And I'm like, I think because I give him more credit than that, but I'm like, I think because I answered you. Like, I actually tried.
Totally.
First
When
time.
I like go on there, I have
Yeah.
like dozens of messages from guys I never respond
Yes.
to. You got to go in with like just a lighter energy
Like,
about
we
it.
reciprocated
Sure, I'll meet you. Sure,
energy.
totally.
Yeah.
Like he kept trying and I kept like, I think we wanted the same thing at the same time. And we didn't know if we were going to like hit it off, but I think it literally worked because like he made a plan and I, instead of canceling the date like I would normally do, I showed up.
Yeah. And like just made the choice.
I made the choice.
I've been thinking about this a lot. Like things that happen in your life that may seem kind of wild or insignificant, and then they really do, like you say, open the portal, but like they really do shift your outlook. Like I've like a couple pop culture references that I think are interesting. Like I've been watching The Golden Bachelor, and these women that leave the show say, he made me feel so seen. You get to a certain age and feel like really emotional and you feel invisible.
Yes.
And this person makes me realize that like I can find somebody and I'm not invisible and I still have so much life left to live. And then Raina's gonna hate this, but I also think of like about naked attraction. No, it's about naked attraction.
I thought it was about Travis
That's
Kelce.
my other personality.
Actually, I'm back on Travis and Taylor.
Naked attraction, like these people are like, I feel so much more confident in my body after like getting judged naked, which is like interesting. If you watch the show, you understand this sentiment, but like these things you wouldn't guess. And they
Yes.
somehow like make you feel a certain type of way and like send you on a new trajectory.
It's literally switching up your energy.
Yeah.
My recommendation now to people, like I have a friend who's single and like struggling to meet people, and I'm like, go on a trip. I know that doesn't solve everything, but I said to her, I'm like, stop going out dating guys with the checklist, because like, yes, that's who you maybe ultimately want to end up with. But what you need is like a fun little fling to like get your energy back and like make you feel reinvigorated. Like, I think that's what did it for me, was like not taking it so seriously and not going in with like, I need this, 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 and this. And now the person I met has everything on my list and more. But like, I didn't, you know what I'm saying?
No, I love it. And
I
isn't
totally
it so
agree.
amazing that like when you allowed yourself to let go of therapy, let go of all this stuff, you tell yourself this narrative about your body and your hormones and how you look at yourself sexually, like you let yourself let all that go, and that actually let somebody in who really cares about you. Who's
Well,
so
do you want to hear
wonderful.
the craziest thing? We were playing SFK's like card game the other day, and one of the questions was like, what was the first thing that attracted you to me? And since we met on a dating app, I was like, it has to be superficial probably, like through my pictures. And he was like, your body.
Those big boobs.
But my point is, yeah, these big old
Those big ass
titties.
titties.
But my point is, no, someone called them cannons the other day. I was like, but my point is, the one thing that was holding me back was the one thing that he noticed.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
You want to find somebody that doesn't love you in despite of something. You know what I mean? Like whether it's your podcast or your body or whatever, like finding something that's like, no, that's the thing I love. That's not the thing I'm putting up with. Like, and I don't just mean this in terms of looks, but you know, like somebody that doesn't like what we do. It's like, yeah, she fucking talks about sucking dick all the day and I hate it. But like, that's her, you know, it's like, you want someone that's like, I love this about you.
Right.
Yeah. This thing that you might have thought other people might not have.
Well, you know, the Taylor Swift Tolerate It, that's the song. I was dating this guy that summer that, which album is it? What's it called? What is it called?
Evermore?
Evermore.
Oh, that summer. Yeah.
This guy said to me that summer, he was like, I'm learning to tolerate you. And I was like, I don't, he didn't mean it in like a mean way, but like I knew he kind of meant it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I
I
knew
don't
he
like
meant
that.
like, you're this whirling dervish of a person. You're a little bit nuts compared to me and I'm learning how to deal with it. And then I was like,
no.
I don't want you to learn how to tolerate me.
It's
I
to
want
be
you
the
to think
exact
that I'm
opposite.
the coolest thing you've ever
Yeah.
seen. Because like I am. And if you
Yeah.
don't think that everything about me is the coolest, I am not for you.
Yes.
Yes.
100%. Wait, I have a question for you, Ashley, because I went on this like tangent on TikTok and it like really picked up a lot of steam. And I'm curious if you guys feel this way, especially because you're in a new relationship. I like kind of feel sad for my single self because of the way people are treating me now that I'm in a relationship. Like I kind of like feel for her because everyone's like, you're glowing, you're so happy, and I'm like, justice for single Alyssa. Like she was happy too, just
I
in a
know.
different way. And like it just has made me realize how much like the world values women in
We
relationships.
talk about it all the time.
Talk about all this time.
Yeah, because I just launched a tea business and like people are really happy for me, but people are
Perfect.
I know.
way fucking happier that I'm in a
So, yeah.
relationship.
Alyssa, when
Rayna could
I
go.
hard launched Kane on my Instagram a few
Uh-huh.
summers ago, I got like 100,000 likes.
Yeah.
People lost their
Yep.
fucking mind. Like finding one person in the world
Yep.
to care about me was the biggest accomplishment in the world. And it is because love is rare. But when we launched Vibes Only, which
Yep.
we worked on for so long, maybe like not even a quarter of that
Yep.
type of
No, I don't
No,
think
it is
I
a
think
thing.
people really went crazy for Vibes Only.
No, but
I know you're
I
sad,
get
but
what
I,
you're
just, I
saying.
still want to like justice for that.
It's the
you know,
type
but-
of messages. It's like people are like, oh yeah, I love your brand. And then people will write me and be like, I'm so happy for you. No one deserves this more than you. Which is, let me just clarify. That's so nice. Like, thank you. Like genuinely.
Well,
that's
love
so
is
nice
rare,
that people feel that
you know?
way.
Sure.
It's more, I'm just like, it puts an emphasis on like how much people respect women that are like coupled up more than single women.
I think about this all the time, but I have also told myself that I think people are like, she really manifested this and like told us at the beginning of the year she was going to find
Fair.
somebody. She really did thrive as a single woman. She turned 40 and found this great love. Like I try to tell myself that it's not just like, oh my God, she finally has a boyfriend. Thank God. Like I try to tell myself that they're like, that shit really works. Like
Fair.
she really did it. She put in the work. Like, and she got the thing.
Yeah.
And so I think that's one of the things that people love about this relationship so much. But yes, to your point, we talk about this all the time. Like Rayna's like, I get more likes on this boyfriend than us selling out the Chicago theater. You know what I mean?
But I
And
feel like, okay, here maybe I can sort of offer some insight. I think everybody's dream is to fall in love. That is 100% of people's dreams. Everybody can relate to that. Not everybody can relate to wanting to sell the Chicago theater, launch a sex toy company.
Fair.
Like,
Fair.
I think that everybody's like, that's the thing that everyone wants, and she accomplished it. And I admire this relationship. I want this in my life. And it's
Fair.
a beautiful thing. There's nothing negative about it. you
Yeah.
know?
yeah, I was thinking that too. Like it is like
just makes-
everybody can.
But it
have
just
that.
makes me sad for Alyssa a few
I
months
hear
ago
you.
because I'm like, where was this love? Like, I actually feel like I needed that energy more when I was single than I do now.
Yeah,
That's what's sad.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, she needed to be picked up, you know?
But if you guys would all email me and tell me how great I am, that would be
But then
really-
also to your point, like people are feeling the energy and the happiness too.
Yeah.
You know, like they're picking up on that too.
But don't you think we met people because we were happy?
Yes. No, like
I don't think I could attribute all of my happiness to him.
no, like I talk about this where I'm like, he knows this. So like,
Yeah.
where I'm like, I don't even know if we'd be together if I didn't get off birth control. Like I don't
It's
even
about
know
you.
like
Yeah.
what we did in May. I look back on like this month, it's like I can't believe what we
Your
did.
bachelor party, yeah.
I can't, but like the shows and the like partying and then we family and friends.
Yeah.
And we were like on this high that I couldn't even believe we had the adrenaline that we did.
Yeah.
It was like our biggest accomplishments all jammed into 1 month on top of like all these things. And then I just met him at the end of it, at like the grand finale, you know, like it was just, I knew him before, but like, it just was this
way it
thing.
worked
Like
out.
I decided to DM him after him kind of messaging me for years. Like it just, I always think like, what if I didn't? Like what
'Cause it
if
was your
I wouldn't have been in the
energy.
right space. Yeah.
Yeah, you were happy. You were in a good place. And like that's I think what bothers me. I'm like, I don't want people to like attribute my happiness to someone else when I just explained to you guys how much work I've put into making
Totally.
myself happy.
I don't think that you make it sound like that at all. I don't think
Yeah.
Ashley's ever made it sound like that.
No,
Like,
it's just
I think
something that bothers me.
I'm glad that you said it because I think
like
that
that
we
point.
try to preach a lot that like the best type of partner that you can find is somebody who really likes themselves already.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And like I don't really want somebody to expect me to be their whole social calendar, to be the only thing giving them value in life.
Yep.
Like I want somebody to bring something to the table also.
Yeah, you want
know?
to lift each other up.
I'm not going to build the table.
I like your point though. I do want to reiterate what you just said is like this happiness was here before this person came along. That's how I got him.
And
it's
they,
not
of course,
because of him. Like that's really important to know.
And they, of course, enhance it.
Yes.
100%.
But right. I did all this work to get
Like, that's what I'm talking about.
and then they are just the cherry on top. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, of course, they make you happier.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not discrediting that.
Totally.
But it's just something I've noticed because I think I was single for such a long time that like, I almost feel like it's like when people lose a lot of weight and then they're like protective over their like old self.
Yeah.
Or like, I think I'm protective over my single self. I'm like, I feel for her. Like, where was this?
Yeah.
Well, you were saying like, I think I'll be fine with or without this person because I've figured out that I like love myself with or without this person, basically.
Yeah.
And we were talking about feeling like in your early relationships, if they end, like I used to feel like if my ex ever left me, like I'd be in a mental institution until the end of time and nothing would ever pull me out of it. Now I know that like I could find this person that I love really a lot and it's really special. They're another limb on my body, but like I'll live without the limb.
Yep.
You know, like I think you really love Sparkle Eyes. I think he's so important, obviously. But like, if he went away tomorrow, if he ceased to exist, I know that your life would go on.
Exactly.
Not if he died.
If he died,
Do you think
who would you rather
No, but
die?
I think
me
it would
or
take
him?
time.
Rayna,
But
stop. But do you ever think like
That's the question.
no, I just like
I asked my sister this about me or
when
her
you, like,
husband.
love somebody so
You
much.
don't want the answer.
Like I see him from like my like
Trust me, you don't want the
I can't answer it. I'll die. I'd rather die. I'd rather die.
I was like, I shouldn't
Me
have
and
asked
Sparkle Eyes
this.
do the podcast together.
No, people would probably not mind it.
I had a friend being like,
Do
one
a grief
time asked me
podcast
like
about me. That's what I actually want post-mortem. Is just you two to grieve me on the podcast
That
forever.
is what would make
Yeah,
so much money.
just
We'll
know
get so
that
much
it lives-
ad dollars. Like gravestones.com would like sponsor the whole podcast.
Gravestone.
I had a friend ask me like me or Ashley once, and I was like, Ashley, 100%. I don't even know. Do I need to explain this to you?
Oh yeah, you over any friend, and most of my family.
Yeah, it just is what it is.
We're each other's revenue
Yeah,
stream.
but it's like you remember the first time you were in love, and you're like, I'll die without them.
I was like, I remember like having these psycho thoughts, you know, like intrusive psycho thoughts. I'd be like, if there was like an apocalypse tomorrow, like I'd go down with him. Like I'd spend my last breath with him. Like I was sick. Like instead of families, like I was just so like, I will take a bullet for this man. Whereas I think it just comes with growing up where you're like, you could really be so happy with someone, but still be like, I will be fine if this goes away because like we have financial freedom. I just think it's dating later.
I'll be fine because I am fine.
Because I'm fine on my own.
Yeah.
And I've also been on my own for so long that it's almost kind of
Yes,
weirder for
that
me to
too.
be with someone.
Yes, that too. Like I was fine before, I would be fine again.
Yeah.
Like so we were talking about you get in your head of like, does this mean I love this person or I want to be with this person because I don't feel as crazy as I did in my 20s or in my, you know, for me like at 30. So it's like
I'm not like throwing
no, we're
myself in
just
front of a
grown
car
up.
for this person.
It just feels different. It feels like more stable.
I think we're
and-
just adults.
Yeah.
But it is weird because I think another thing with Sean is that like he has like the most secure attachment style. And like I'm not used to that. So I think I'm like, where's the chaos?
Yeah.
But like I love it. Like I wouldn't want to change that. But like I've never from the day I met him worried like, am I gonna hear from him?
No.
Is he gonna make good on a promise that he made? Is he gonna show up? Like if he says he's gonna do something, he does it. So I feel like I'm used to being let down kind of. So I think I'm used to the chaos, which kind of fuels you to be that have that obsession with someone where you're like
the ups and
going
downs.
nuts about them
Yeah.
because you're just like so unhinged because you don't know, you're always on your toes.
Yeah.
But when you're finally like on level ground and you don't have that, you're like, wait, where's the chaos? Like it's kind of weird.
Do you miss it? Do you miss the chaos?
I don't miss it, but I think I'm used to the feelings of being more like obsessive, but in an unhealthy way.
Is there a part of you that's like waiting for the other shoe to drop? Like, does that voice go away ever?
I don't think anymore because, like I said, he's so stable.
Yeah.
I think in the very beginning, I would have that creep in more. But then I just had to remind myself, like, wait, I think he just kept leading through example. Like, if he said, I'm going to talk to you tomorrow, I would hear from him. So let's say it wasn't even until like 4 p.m. the next day, then I'd hear from him. And I just had to train myself to be like, he means what he says. Like, stop being a psycho.
I mean, nothing to me feels better than this security. Really feeling like you always know you're going to hear from somebody, you know, you can rely on them 100%.
Yeah.
Like they love you as much as you love them. I mean, like, I don't think there's a better feeling in the world.
It's true, but I think dating in New
money.
York, like I wasn't used to that. I was used to like
I know.
fuckboys.
No, we were like traumatized. Like I think
I was
really, like,
traumatized.
that's a heavy word.
Yeah.
But like I really do feel like 6 years of that for me, like did make its mark.
of dating
my
in New York.
God, 100%. I think that's just like what dating's like out there.
Yeah.
Anywhere. It's really
Not
hard.
just New York.
I was saying to my mom actually today on the phone, I was like, it's really nice to feel like I'm with someone that I don't have to question their, like, what's he doing? Is he doing something weird on his phone? Is he going to cheat? Is he? And I was like, I always wished for that because like my dad's that way and my sister's husband's that way. But you date all these assholes and you're like, I'm never going to find that.
Right. Is this just what's out there now?
Yeah.
This
I
is
was
how
like, this
people
is
are?
it. Like
Totally.
people are sketchy. They're going to have OnlyFans and they're going to cheat. And in the digital world, there's all this weird shit. Like, I'm like, who knows? And now with him, like I never have to question his
Never.
intentions. So it's like, it is out there.
Of
It's
course
out
it
there.
is.
I know, but you feel kind of cynical for a while.
100%. Okay, so we wanted to talk about this kind of big DTR discussion because you kind of asked our opinion.
Yes.
Yes.
I was
And you had-
spiraling that day.
You had like your whole relationship's a little unconventional. I think you introduced him to your friends really early. You
Yeah.
introduced him to your parents before the DTR. And you were getting a lot of like advice from different people about what to do and how to do it. And friends, I feel like in the beginning of a relationship give you like so much advice. It's all really well intentioned, but it's all from like their own personal triggers and their own relationships. And, you know, I think you did a really good job of like drowning out the noise and figuring out when to do this yourself.
I will always listen to my gut. And like, it was actually nice when I asked you guys for advice because the advice you gave me was exactly what I was feeling in my gut, which was why I think I asked you guys because I knew I would probably agree with your opinion. But I think what happened was our first date ended up being like 3 days because it was like that hurricane in LA and you couldn't drive on the roads.
yeah.
Everyone's like, what's the secret to your success? Sean's like, get a hurricane.
Weather.
Right. Like it's like a blizzard. Yeah. It's just like get snowed in. Totally.
Get stuck together.
COVID. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just, worldwide pandemic. Like, I don't know. So I felt like, when I watch Love Island, they're like 3 days in here feels like 3 weeks on the outside. That's how I felt our relationship was. Like, it was a bubble. We were in Bachelor in Paradise.
Yeah.
Like how they say, oh, I fell in love so quick. Or like, I got to know this man 3 days, what would probably be like 7 dates.
Yes.
For
Weeks.
someone. Weeks.
Yeah.
Like way more than you would like just sitting across the table with someone for a few dates. So I felt like I really got to know him quickly, which is why I think like him meeting my friends kind of moved quickly. I think we kind of like ultimately knew right away like we're going to date. So when it came time to like define the relationship, I knew I'm like, this is my boyfriend,
Totally.
but we haven't said it yet. And I was hosting this big launch event for my tea business. And I was like, it's so awkward because this is the first time he's going to be in a setting where he's meeting so many people. And he had met my parents that weekend and it went great, but we still weren't boyfriend and girlfriend. So like, that's another thing. But it all kind of worked out because both of our parents don't live in California. So for him to meet my parents, I was like, they're going to be here. And this is maybe the only time like you're going to have a chance to meet them. So I'm just going to swing the idea by him and see if he's down. And like, he was down. We hung out with them all weekend. He wound up coming to my launch event. And like that day, my anxiety was so high because of the launch that I think that's why I couldn't see clearly about like where my gut landed on having the discussion with him. So I was freaking out. I was texting some friends being like, do I just have this conversation ahead of tonight's launch to be like, Sean, like, I didn't want to have to bring it up this way, but like, where do we stand? Because people are going to be asking us tonight, like who you are, who I am. My gut told me I did not want to be the one to bring up that conversation.
That's not the right energy to put out in the world.
You're
like the way this relationship is going is not what are we on the day of my
I was
business
so,
launch.
you know, when you're anxious, like you
I get
don't
it.
have a rational brain.
Totally, 100%.
I was I almost like needed to attach my anxiety to something.
You're also like such a publicist. You're like, I need every single thing in its place. I have this launch event. I need to know if you're my boyfriend. So when I talk to you about this launch event,
and we were like, that's his problem.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Let him deal with that.
You have this like big launch event. Focus on that.
Yeah. I
Are
know.
you my boyfriend is not the energy today.
And then I was like, first of all, I knew he felt that way about me, but I was
Totally.
like, I don't feel like it's my responsibility to bring that up
Not at all.
because like he'll bring it up, like it'll happen naturally. So ultimately I decided not to. Also, your advice, like you guys were like, stop. It's not a big deal. Who cares? People are just going to assume.
Well, we were also like, you're together. Everybody knows it. Both of you know it. He's been with the parents all weekend. Like, but I also said like, if there was any question, this is a great opportunity for him to have to deal with that. If he's getting asked, what are you guys? Then get his wheels turning and he can bring this conversation up. Like, not that you even needed that because you were already like, it was obvious and you were really secure, but I'm kind of like, he can deal with this. This is not what you need to be dealing with.
Oh, well, he dealt with it.
Yeah. See, also, I feel like we have these like narratives we tell ourselves about like every person here is going to be like, is that your boyfriend? What's the deal? And it's like, I don't know. Everybody on earth has been in the beginning of a relationship phase and you're like, that's my guy that I'm dating. You know? Did a lot of people ask you like, who is he? What are
No,
you?
because everyone knew who he was,
cared.
though. Everyone's
Totally.
like, oh, this is Ernie. Like, all this. Like, everyone just figured. And the people that didn't just came up to me and whispered, like, is this the guy you're seeing?
Totally.
Like,
Yeah, we're adults.
But then the next weekend, we're hanging out and like, we didn't have a chance to really have a one-on-one conversation the whole time. My parents were there, whatever.
You guys had a sleepover at your apartment with your
you guys
parents.
were all in the apartment.
It was a lot. It was a
your
lot.
parents so much. I
They
miss
love
them.
him.
Yeah.
And so the next weekend was over and we were talking about something and somehow it came up and he was like, we always kind of ask each other this thing, like, what's on your minds? Like, give me a question. And we'll like pick each other's brains. And he was like, what's on your minds? And I was like, I'm not going to say. Because again, I didn't want to bring it up. So eventually it came up. Somehow he was like, what is it? And I said something like the G word, like girlfriend or something. And he was like, oh. He's like, yeah, no, I was just telling everyone at your event. I was your boyfriend. I was like, what? I was like, this would have helped, a week ago. Like,
he's so chill.
Yeah.
he's like, I just figured.
Good to know.
Yeah. I was like, oh, nice to know. Thank you.
Glad all these other people knew you're my boyfriend.
That I had a boyfriend.
before me.
I would have liked to know I had
This
a
is the
boyfriend.
best. My dad goes, oh, yeah, I heard him saying it. Like, was anyone going to fill me in?
So your dad tells you you're in a relationship.
I'm like,
You're like, your dad's like, by the way, listen, do you know you had a boyfriend? Because I knew.
my dad was probably introducing him as that too. I'm like,
100%.
everyone's just doing this without my knowledge. And I was like, oh, would have been nice to know. And he was like, oh, I kind of just figured. And I was like, no, same. But like, yeah, we should have the conversation.
Sure.
Like, I don't want to just start introducing you rogue as my boyfriend. And then he was like, well, do you want to be my girlfriend? I was like, yeah. Like, I didn't need this whole grand gesture.
Not at all.
I
No.
really just wanted to know we were on the same page.
Yeah. Like, it's just semantics. It's like, yeah, we're together. Everybody knows it. You know what I mean?
Well, he told me after our first date, he deleted Hinge. So like, I was never really that worried.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, we're
Totally.
dating, you know?
Yeah.
I love that feeling of security in the beginning of a relationship. It takes me back to that quote: if he likes you, you'll know it. If he doesn't, you'll be confused. And
That's so true.
the last relationship I was in, that was my boyfriend. I didn't have to ask. We didn't have to have something like serious, like, are we going to be boyfriend and girlfriend? I was like, this is who he's dating, me.
It's more just the introduction of it all.
Yeah,
I didn't
totally.
even know for myself. It's more like, I don't want to be the first one out of the gate to be like, this is my boyfriend. I was like, you gotta lead.
100%. Again, it's just sometimes it's like, it's a technicality.
Yeah.
When Sparkle Eyes was in Cabo, he's there in Cabo for my birthday. Obviously, it's my boyfriend, but we had the conversation there. And the main conversation was like, just want to make sure you don't want kids.
Yeah, seriously.
Before I commit to this.
No, it's so true.
But it was
Actually,
just,
like, I just want to make sure you know that you have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
no, he brought it up, but it was just like, are we doing this? Yeah. Like,
Yeah, because like he was in Cabo with you before you had that conversation.
yeah, he's clearly my boyfriend.
Yeah, like you just know at that point, but it's like, are we gonna like stop beating around the bush? Like,
yeah, you're right. You do sometimes have to introduce somebody.
also, not to be weird, but I feel like
Beware.
just knowing I haven't been anxious since. I was
Yeah.
anxious leading up to that point. Like just like
Yeah.
randomly during the week, because I'm so used to getting ghosted, I would be like, oh, is he gonna ghost me? Like
Yeah.
now I don't feel that way at all. It weirdly did give me like a sense of
Yeah.
peace.
So you guys have kind of a unconventional, like you really mostly only see each other on the weekends.
Yeah.
Because of like what his life looks like right now. He's a drug dealer. No, I'm just kidding. But like
That's why he doesn't have social
He's
media.
in prison. He gets out on the weekend.
that is actually a way better joke. And that is a thing. No, actually you
They
have to
get
go to
out?
prison on the weekends.
Oh,
You get to
that's
work
a
during
thing.
the week. Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't-
You get released during the week
Or
for
sometimes
work.
you have to go
prison.
back at night. Not to work.
It's a halfway house.
I didn't
yeah.
know. Oh, halfway house. Yeah, yeah.
So
No, guys, he's not.
Was
He has a
that-
serious job.
Yeah, totally.
And he told me from the beginning, like, this is my life.
yeah.
And I was like, all
Very
right,
helpful.
cool. Like, I'm really busy too.
Yeah.
And I think I've been single for so long that I would be kind of overwhelmed if he wanted to see me all the time.
Mhm.
Like, I'm like really used to my alone time. Like, it's even weird for me, like on the weekends, like we'll spend like 3 days together and I'm like, whoa, I haven't been with someone this long. And so,
Yeah.
you know, it's good for me to ease into as well. And we both said we met at the busiest times of our lives. Like he's going through like really intense stuff. And I was going through launching my first business. We would switch having our stress days. Like some days he'd be like, I'm losing my mind. And then the next day I'd be like, I'm having a panic attack. Like we both were like, if we could make it work now, imagine when we could like travel and have fun. Because we didn't meet at a light time. We're not like drunk making out in bars. We're like dealing with like life shit, like heavy stuff. And it works because, again, even though he has like the world's busiest schedule, if he says he's coming over on a Friday night, like he's coming over and he'll like dedicate that time to me. And he has to like do a lot of studying, and I'm like so respectful of it. Like he woke up at 5:45 a.m. so he can come to the beach on Saturday.
What an angel.
I know, because he's like, I don't want to miss it.
Yeah.
He went to bed at 8.
He's making it work. People will make it work.
He
if they
made it
wanna
work. He went to bed at 8 the night before. I sat in my living room and watched Love Island games. And then I went into bed and I woke up at 9 and he woke up at 5:45 and he did his whole test. He did all like everything. And then he had the whole day and we were able to go out all day together. So it's like, you just have to find a balance of what works. And like, I think that's what he's shown me. Like no one's more busy than him, but he makes it work.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Like I really support him. Like
course.
he said he's had issues in the past where people
Totally.
are like, oh, like you have to take a test. Okay, I'm going to sit in the room with you.
That's so funny.
Well, you've also said to me that you've had advice from people that are like, he should see you more. He should spend more time with you, or this isn't enough. And I said to you just tell those people you don't have to fucking date him. I'm the one that has to date him. This is my parameters.
Yeah.
He's intentional with me. He has let me know exactly what to expect. And I am fine. If you don't like that, you don't date him.
Well, I think it was also people being like, are you sure you're spending all weekend with him? Like you're giving your weekends to him? And I'm like, yeah, like I'm comfortable with it.
Well, I think like, I don't know, Rayna and I were talking about this. Like, as you get older, you also transition out of that mindset a little bit. Like, we go to dinner and do fun stuff during the week.
What am I doing anyway?
We don't go out, like, let's get fucking wasted every weekend. Like, the days are kind of all the same. We all work for ourselves also. So
I
like,
don't have a schedule.
A Tuesday could be like a Saturday. And then I worked all day yesterday, which was Sunday. Yesterday, I was like, I'm going to go to Soho House and work all day. Like,
100%.
It just doesn't, this might not be relatable to everybody in what they do for work, but also just as you age, it's less about like, gotta live for the weekend. You know, like,
I don't want to do anything on the weekends.
Yeah.
I would love it if you want to just sit here and do nothing with me.
Yeah, I'm like, what do you mean giving up my weekend? Like, I've been dying to give up my weekend.
Yes. I just think the theme of this is also just don't let people get in your head. Like, you know what works for you.
And also, I'm just like a big gut person. Like, this is what I said to him. I know he'd rather be with me than like at a stuffy, like tiring job. And I think that's the one thing I always say. Why would I get mad at someone for like being ambitious? Like to me, that's the most attractive thing. Like, of course I'm going to support you in this because like I respect you and I respect what you're doing. And I think honestly, my sister was like a really good example because her husband works in investment banking and he works really late nights. He travels during the week all the time. Like, and she was always so secure. And it was really nice to see because when she was younger, like they started dating in her 20s and people would be like, why can't he come to happy hour with us? And my sister would be like, because he's working. And like she would show up places alone a lot. And she was so confident with it. She was always like, I support him, I respect him, and like I don't care if I'm coming alone. And I really liked that because a lot of girls will be like nagging their husbands or boyfriends, being like, you need to come to this happy hour with me. It's like they can't. They have other things going on.
And if we're going to be together, if we're going to end up together, we have the rest of our lives, we'll hang out enough. I just think like patience is important and then just also having your own life.
But I would hope someone was like that for me too.
Absolutely.
Like, I travel a lot for work. I travel on weekends and then we
Totally.
miss our weekends hanging out. And he has to adjust and see me during the week.
My schedule is my life.
Yeah.
And if you don't accept my schedule, you are not accepting what I've chosen to do with my life. So like, where do we go from there? You don't really like me if you don't like my schedule.
Yeah, it's just a respect thing. And I think it's just about being realistic. My dad said something to me once and I thought it was like really like was impactful because I was telling him how on dating apps, it's very surface level because you're just seeing pictures, you're seeing education and you're seeing job. And I was telling him like how I swipe past some like jobs and he was like disgusted. Like he was like really disappointed in me. He was like, I'm really disappointed that you're judging people. And I was like, well, it's a very superficial process. And he was like, I get it and I hear you. But he said, it depends how you define success. Is success money or is success being in a healthy, happy relationship? And like, it really like changed my opinion of like, what do you define success as? And it really impacted me because I was like, he's so right. Like all this other shit, like get rid of the list. If success to you is just being with someone that makes you happy, stop being a stuck up bitch. Like go for whoever. Go for someone that's going to make you happy.
Yeah. And I mean, we talk about that sometimes too, of like, there are certain jobs and careers that seem very attractive and the type of people that choose to go into them may not be the type of person that's going to give you the like connection that you want or the prioritization that you want or the time. You know, there's things like that too.
Yeah.
So, well, we want to wrap up with talking a little bit about the tea company.
Yes, because
And
it's holiday season.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, it is. Perfect
it is
gift.
really the perfect gift.
they pair perfectly with the vibrators.
we should do a collab, a blow gel tea collab.
Oh my God.
so
No, I have
funny.
so many collab ideas in my back pocket. Yeah. So basically, I launched Tea with Publicity, the tea. It's so funny because I'm actually like such a tea drinker. Like my family, my dad, like I grew up in a house of like non-coffee drinkers. So it was like kind of ironic that everyone says like spill the tea, but it was just ironic, this like common theme of like tea in my life. And then I always knew I wanted to launch something, and I kind of just had the idea like while I was driving. And I think what makes my tea really different, one, it's so good. It's that my packaging doubles as home decor. And that was really important to me because as someone that gets a lot of PR packages, there's so much waste and I'm getting rid of so many packages all the time. And I was like, I don't want it to just be another box that I'm like spending all this money on producing for people to like throw out. Like I want it to look like a coffee table book. I call it a tea table book. And I want you to be able to display it in your home. And I want it to be a collector's item. Like as I have new launches and new flavors, you could stack them like books. So my packaging looks like a coffee table book. You could put it on your coffee table. I say put your remote control
Put your
on
vibrators
it.
in there.
Yeah, put your vibrator.
You could store
Genuinely, no. People were
big
like,
box.
you could, yeah, you could store
I mean,
like.
we want you to save our boxes
You can
too,
get a few
but
dildos in
you
that,
could
though.
put some vibrators in there.
No, it's so true. You
the
could
whole
put,
Vibes
like,
Only collection in
you
one of
could
your
put,
tea
like
boxes.
your weed in there, your vibrator.
Yes,
like
your
it's
weed,
literally
yeah.
like your paraphernalia box.
Love it.
Yeah, because it's discreet.
Ooh,
It
your
looks like
naughty
a
box?
Paraphernalia.
Yes.
I have not heard that word.
I have a drug box upstairs. Of course I do.
Yes.
It's not as beautiful as yours.
It's a drug box. So I was like, you can keep the box, and the whole concept was really built on like spilling the tea while sipping the tea. So I just like wanted to make tea drinking cool. I feel like there's such a culture around coffee, but not around tea. And I'm like, there's so many people now that are sober curious and like not drinking. And I'm like, sip it while you spill it. So that's the whole thing. My first flavor is binge watch black tea. So you could drink the tea while binging your favorite reality TV shows.
I love it.
Your like
Put a little
photos
bourbon in it at night.
and like all the marketing and the branding is just so
Second to none.
incredible.
Thank you.
Totally.
Yeah,
Where
so-
can people buy the tea?
Yeah, so it's teawithpublicity.com. Publicity is spelt, it's a play on words between the word publicity and my nickname Liss. So it's PUBLYSSITY. So Tea with Publicity. Everything also on my main channel is just publicity, and I kind of like link out from there. But yeah, for the holidays, we offer a tea and infuser bundle. It's $35. So I actually think it's a perfect gift because like I had a lot of people buying them like ahead of Thanksgiving to give to like whoever's hosting, or it's just like a nice gift
Oh,
because
it's a great
everyone
hosting
drinks
gift.
tea.
Yes.
Totally.
And you want to bring them a gift. It's like kind of gender neutral. It looks nice. It's
Yeah.
packaged nice. Yeah, so that's my spiel. I love it. And I'll be coming out with new flavors and stuff too.
I can't wait.
Okay, yay. Well, guys, get it for, yes, I love that as a holiday gift, a
Yeah.
hostess gift that for your friends. It's cold season. Buy it, put a little bourbon in
Whole
it.
season.
Oh, yeah. I'm making a tequila drink.
Oh.
Like I'll do a little tutorial of how
Yeah.
to make a mixed drink with
And
it.
you can make iced tea with it too.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah,
All
you
the
had that
time.
at your launch party. It was incredible.
So good.
And
So-
then all your other content is so valuable. If you guys want to know how to make a painting, Alyssa.
Oh, yeah. I've got you.
And your Instagram is great. Your PR play of the day. You know,
Thank
you
you.
do great content. Do we plug everything? Your podcast?
Yeah,
all the things?
Publicity is my main handle. Everything else under Tea with Publicity. My podcast, my tea business. That's everything. I'm so happy I came on.
Oh
We
my
are so
God,
happy
this was
too.
So wonderful. I love this conversation so
me too.
much.
I know. I feel like it's just us sitting on our
I
couches
know.
talking
And
anyway.
you're such
That's what
a
we want the vibe
pro.
to be.
It's just perfect.
What a dream.
Okay, well, tell Sean we miss him.
I love Sean so much.
Yeah, not as much as
He's
we
the
love you,
best.
I talked about him yesterday, like on a Sunday solo. I love him. Okay.
but- okay, and you guys know where to find us. Girlsgottaeat.com. Get those tickets to those very last 2 shows. And Girls Gotta Eat podcast on Instagram and TikTok. I am Ash Hess. Rayna is Rayna.Greenberg. Subscribe on YouTube. Tell a friend. Vibesonly.com. Get your vibrators. Put in your tea box. Do all the things. And we will see you next week.
Happy Thanksgiving. We love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.